All right, so today we are going to look at CSS, the fundamental of CSS, which is our topic for today. Maybe we are in the week 4. Now we are looking at CSS fundamentals. And today is Monday. We are going to look at what is CSS, inline CSS, internal CSS, and external CSS. So this is our topic for today. I know it's just a simple topic, but you need to understand it well. So let's use the W3 Schools website, the CSS introduction. So what is CSS? You understand? CSS is simple, the language we use to style an HTML document. You understand? So you've learned the basics of HTML. Now you know some of the elements, you know some of the attributes. You understand? Then you are building the structure, and HTML is used to build the structure. As I told you before, it's like you are building a house, and you start to build the structure of the house. You understand? So now we've finished building the house, the structure of the house. We had the plan, we build the foundation, and we build the structure. The structure is now completed. So now what next? CSS is the language we use to style an HTML document. When we talk about styling, it comes along with a lot of things. Styling can be what? A paint, the color that we add to the structure, the color that you add to your house. You understand? You have the structure which is there, but to beautify, to make it beautiful, you need to add a style, which is what you call the CSS. So wherever you hear something like style, we are talking about CSS, of which we are adding or we are beautifying the structure, the layout. How should this thing be here? You understand? In a way that it look nice to the user, the one who is using the website. You cannot build a website and it is like just a structure whereby the layout is not defined well. And it doesn't look nicer. So for us, or for our website to look nicer, we have to add a style, which is a CSS, to beautify it. You understand? So CSS describes how HTML element should be displayed. You understand? So that is simple about CSS. Just beautify, make the structure look nicer, the layout, the border, the margin, the padding. You understand? The background color, the main color. You understand? All of those are part of the CSS. You understand? The CSS contain over 700 CSS examples in this folder, as is seen. You understand? So some of the examples are this. For example, this is just a simple CSS. So this is affecting the body, and this is affecting the H1 element or H1 tag, and this one is affecting the paragraph tag. So let's see, we are targeting the element itself. So now here, we are targeting element by element or tag by tag. I understand. So these are the main elements. So what happened? For instance, let's say we have our website. Let me give like CSS tutorials. Let's say we have our body. This body contains all this, right?
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, so this body, as we normally know, the element body contain all this section. I understand. So for instance, if I want the body to have a different color, what should I do? I can just say, I want the body to have a different color. So I can see style, which is the attribute. You understand? Because if you remember, we have some attributes which like image. An image, there is source, which the source is an attribute, right?
Yeah.
And then we point to the where the image source is. An alternative, we write what an alternative text in case the image is not found. Right. So it is the
Yeah.
same thing. Since we are looking at attribute, the body too, let's say the body too also has an attribute, or there is another attribute, let's say, which is style. And style is, as I told you, is the same thing as it represents CSS. Like we are styling, we are giving something like color, like background. You understand? So the name we give it is style. Style. You understand? And this word style is an attribute here inside what the element.
Mm.
You understand? So we can then we now give it a what a property, or we normally say a value or property, right? So all these things are the properties of the style. The style, all of them, look at it's mainly the style that you want to give to the element. You understand? And normally, if it is a body, what do you need? You just need a background color, right? So you
Yeah.
can just look inside because the body will contain all of what we are going to write inside. Understand? So normally what we add inside the body is our background color. So we look through inside the property and see, do we have anything like background color? Yes, we have background color. Just note how it is written, background color. So if we take this as a property, then we have to give it a value. Which color do we need to give it to? You understand? Then we say we want this color, maybe like black. Now, when we write black, all of our body will turn into black color.
Mm.
You understand? So always think about how the symbols are written, the columns and this stuff. Look at, first of all, we start with style equal to double quotation, right?
Yeah.
Or double the apostrophe, right? Double apostrophe. Then we have what? Background color. Background color. Then we bring a column, right? Then after the
Yeah.
column, what do we have? We take what? The color. What color do you want? We say, we can say blue. You understand? So if we know that we finish, then we add semicolon here. It means we have finished this. We are not going to add any style here again.
Mm.
But if we know that we are going to add another style, then we say, oh, we want to add another style, right? Then we come
Yeah.
here, we say, I want to add additional style. You understand? So that's how normally it works. But this one is what we call internal CSS. So let me just write internal CSS. So what is internal CSS? What is internal CSS? What is internal CSS? What is this internal CSS? Internal CSS is what? Is adding a style internally and or inline. Oh, I'm coming. I'm talking about inline, so I wrote internal. Inline CSS, not internal. Sorry. Inline CSS. Inline CSS. You understand? So this is our number one, which is inline CSS. And then I'll just copy this and say we have what? Internal. Internal. Right. And then I'll copy this again and say we have what we call external. Right. So what do you have? We have inline, internal, external, right? So
Yeah.
these are the three different arrangements or different CSS style that we have. Inline CSS, internal CSS, and external CSS. Right. So let's look at the inline one. Inline is just adding the style in line with the elements, as we did here before.
Mm.
You understand? So if I'm adding anything in line, for instance, I'm adding a style or the color, I see style, and then what do I want to add to this style? How do I want to change this thing? I will say I want font size. Font size is to change the size of the text. Either you want it smaller or bigger. So if I say font size, then I'll choose the font size I want. I want large, larger, medium, small, smaller, extra large. Or I can just write a number, like maybe I want 12 pixels. You see, it is smaller now.
Mm.
Or I see it is smaller, let me make it 20 pixels. Maybe 100 pixels. You understand? So it means that this one is called inline CSS. Inline, look at inline. It is in line with the one you are going to affect it with.
Mm.
Right, you understand? So you are affecting this font size, which is 100 pixels, to this H1. You understand? Which is a text. And that H1, that text is here. Hope you understand.
Yeah.
So that is what we call inline CSS. And you can add different, a lot of them. So now you've added what? You've added font size. Always look at how it is what? Written. And it can take different, style. In line, it can also take some style. You understand? But it all has its limitation. That's why we have different of it. You understand? So now if I come here and say, oh, within it, I already have what? The font size to be 100 pixels. What about, can I change the color to be white? Then I say color. When I see color, then I say I want white color.
Mm.
You understand?
Yeah.
So it means that you are still inside this style, the fair, because this style is affecting this H1, which is this H1, right? So it
Yeah.
doesn't affect any of the other ones. It only affects this because it is in line. That's why we call it in line. It is affecting only the line, the first line, or the line of the element that you have.
Mm.
You understand? Aha. So that is what inline CSS is. And you can apply different. So now we applied what? 100 pixels. And then we are telling the browser that we are finished. So if you are finished, you put what? Semicolon here. You understand? So it tells that here you have finished adding the font size. And now you want to add another style, which is color. And then here you start the color, you brought what? Column, and you wrote the color name white, and you are telling the browser that you have finished. Then you bring what? Another semicolon. If you want to continue again, then you bring a space and start. What do you want again to apply to this? You can say, I want something like maybe test decoration, something like test decoration. What do you want test decoration to do? You want inline or line or overline or underline. You want underline.
Mm.
You understand?
Um,
Test decoration, colon, underline. Meaning you want the what? The text to have underline decoration.
mm.
So you see all of what all the style that we are applying only affect the elements.
This one.
This is what the line one, the inline. That's what we call it inline. Affect only this one. So if you want to add this one, so we want this one to be affected, we can say we can give a style to this one too, and we can say you to have font size of 50 pixels, right?
Yeah.
We didn't write anything inside. Let me write my text. You understand? So you see how 50 pixels is. So if I finish, I say I want it to have to be bold. So I can see font weight. I can say I want it to bolder. I say bolder or lighter. I can say bold. You see how it is bold. Or I can say I want it to be 900. You see how it is. Then I say I want the color to be maybe green or green yellow. You understand?
Yeah.
So this is how we apply CSS, inline CSS to the element. So you can decide to take any element that you want. Let's see which element do you want to add style to. Let's say we want to add an element button, right? We have a button and we say click me. So this is our button. We say click me. So we want to add an inline CSS to it. What do you normally do? We come here, we say style. We can say we want to have maybe padding. This is padding. We can click on padding and say we want to have maybe 20 pixels. You see how it is now. You understand? We have padding, we have margin. So padding is the text around this main text, this smaller text. You understand?
That's
So for this, now that is padding. And margin 2 is the what? The space outside of this. You understand? So now if I see, you will not see clearly, but for me, let's say I'm going to add border. I'll add border and see the border should be 1 pixels. And I want the border to be solid. You remember this, right?
Yeah.
And then I want the line of the border to be, let's see, brown. You see it is brown on the border. So let me increase this thickness so you can see clearly. So you can see this is the thickness, border, this is the thickness, this is the what? The solid color, and this is the main color. You understand? So I'll apply this CSS, inline CSS to the border. You understand?
Yeah.
So this for padding. So if this one is inside another element, so for instance, if I put this thing inside, let's say I have something like maybe section, right? So inside the section, maybe I will take this and put it inside the section. You understand? So this my button is inside this section. So I want the section to also have something. Maybe I'll add an inline CSS to it. And I'll say I want to have background color of the section. What color? Maybe I can say I want this color. You understand? So this color is inside here. So now if I said I want to have let's say I want to have padding of maybe 50 pixels. You see how it is.
Yeah.
Padding is a space between that element. So this element, the space here For instance, as example, for this space, you understand, and this space inside, in this space, this space is a pattern. Now, you understand, is a pattern for the section. The pattern for the button is this, that white space that you see here. You understand? But when we come to margin, margin is the one which is outside here. But margin for this box, which is the button. You understand? So now if I say I want to add a margin, I can say, come here and say, I want to add margin. And maybe I can say, I want to add margin 10 pixels. You don't really see it, but it is giving you the space here between this and that. You understand? It gives you space between this and that. Definitely, we are just looking at the inline CSS now, but we come to the padding and margin, because that one I have to open the dev tools and show you clearly. You understand? So for now, just take it as this inline. This is the inline CSS. You first have to bring what? The style, and then the property is give it the padding and give it the value. So padding column 20 pixels, and then you end it with semicolon. So make sure you don't forget this. This is the rule. You understand?
Yeah.
Always just don't forget the rule. Look at the rule. Just always look at the rule. Okay, so it's like, let me do it again. For instance, we have this button. We say style. We want to apply inline CSS, which is style equal to, and then it gives us our apostrophe, double quotation. It can be one single quotation. It can still work. I understand. It depends on your choice. Understand? But always leave it as it is, like double quotation. And then it always already give you the property that you can, if you can select some of the property that you want. You understand? But you have to know what kind of elements you are applying those property to. You cannot just take any element and apply it on any element. Just take any property and apply it to any element. No. Make sure you are, for instance, we are looking at button. And when you talk about button, what does button need? You have to ask yourself, this is button, right? So you ask yourself, what does this button need? This button needs to have a space up and down and left and right, so that this can be seen clearly. Then you have to think about padding. Then we come here and see, I want padding. You have different padding. You can have padding left, padding bottom, padding right, padding top. So these are the 4 things. But immediately you see padding, if you see padding, it tells you to write a number which can affect all the sizes, whether it is up, left, down, and then right. That is how it is. So if I say 10 pixels, these 10 pixels that I'm adding, it is affecting the padding left, padding right, padding bottom, padding top, padding right. And so this 10 is represent all. So you see that all these space are equal. From here is equal, here is equal, here is equal, here is equal. So you see that this test will be centered clearly. But if I said no, I don't want to have padding all around. I just want to have one padding maybe left. I can just see here and say I want padding left. So what happened? You see that only this is affected. Let me make it bigger so you can see. 100 pixel, you see. So this is what padding left. I understand. So it means that it was affected this left side, padding left. So that is bad. I can see padding right. You see. You understand? But immediately I see padding, I'm affecting all the sizes. See. top, left, right button. So this 100 is affecting all of top, left. So it means that if you are going to sum up all of them, if here is 100, you have 400 pixels for all of them, right? Because here you have what 10. Here from here is,
Yeah.
here is 100. From here to is 100. Here is 100. Here is 100, making 400.
Mm.
I hope you understand.
Yeah.
So you have to know that the kind of property that you are adding to that element. That is what we call inline CSS, right? So let me see if you really understand inline CSS. Let me delete this and then I'll delete this too and see whether you understand inline CSS. So you can move on. Okay. So now I want you to understand, to tell me something. For instance, I want to apply some styles. I want to apply an inline CSS to the body. What can I do?
Mm,
I'm here. What should I do?
you ask type.
Add style. Okay. And then,
Uh, you want to put a background color or what do you want to do?
no, I know. I want you to tell me how I'm going to write it. Not to just tell me write style and this. Tell me how I'm going to write it. Like I'm writing something, right? So you see, I should write style. I wrote style. What should I write again?
You have to write background.
No, if where can I write background? How can I write background here? You have to
Okay, you
follow
have
how,
to,
what should I write? Test.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
like you write style, then
I
you
wrote
write
style.
equal to,
Okay, I wrote equal to.
then background color.
Okay, you have to see this. Although the editor, because it is automatic, it already give you the apostrophe. You understand? You understand? But you have to tell me, oh, I should now I wrote what?
Okay, you want me
Equal to.
to mention everything.
Yeah, I want you to mention that's what I want you to because if you can mention those, it always helps you to remember to understand it very clearly than following the what the editor is going to give it to you. You
Okay,
understand? So I wrote style and equal to what next?
apostrophe.
Apostrophe. Which one should I use single one or should I use double one?
You can use the single one or the double one.
Okay, so let's use the single one and see. Okay, what next?
Then we can write background.
You can write background. So what that background is? What is the
The
name
back
given to that background?
the background is used to affect the color.
What's the name of that background? Because you know when you say style, style is an attribute, right?
Uh, the background is value
Its value, or that's the best way is just a property.
property. Okay,
So it's a property of the style, right?
mm, yeah.
Okay, so I'll write background. Is it background? You want background or background color? Because there are two ways. We have background and we have
Yeah,
background color.
we need background color.
So how should I write? Backgrong. And then how can I write the color?
For the color, you have to after you write background color minus color,
Okay, minus color. Okay, I
then
wrote
you
it.
then you select the color that you want to use, whether it is
No,
blue or white.
yeah, I know, but now I wrote only the background color. What next? Tell me something tight. I'm typing.
Okay, you have to write quotation mark,
No,
apostrophe,
no. Look at this
apostrophe.
very well. Look at it
Uh,
very well. I have to bring what? Column. right?
Column, yeah.
I have to bring column immediately after the what? The background color. Immediately after the property, I have to bring column, right? Column.
Yeah, column.
Then
Okay,
after a column, what next? Now, what should I write?
you have to write the color that you want. If it is
So which
blue,
color should I write?
let's select maybe uh, green.
Green. Okay. I wrote green. So you see, the green is there. So if, for instance, now I'm telling the brother that um I have finished, and then I want to write another property, what should I bring there after the green? What should I type?
You need to bring column, two columns.
So now I want to add another column. Are you sure it's column?
Was it quotation mark? Yeah,
Because I already
quotation mark.
have a column. I already have a column when I wrote the
Uh,
background color. So
the quotation mark.
no, I have to bring one semicolon.
Semicolon. Okay.
I understand. So the first one is column, and then after I wrote the green or the value of the property, now I have to write what semicolon to know that I've finished with the green. You understand? Then I'm going to write a different value for the property, right? So
Yeah.
I'm writing a different property now. I understand. So now we are going back to this here from here. You understand? So it's like you are copying similar way, the way it is, but you are starting here like the same thing as here, writing it the next step, which is another style.
Mm.
You understand? Uh-huh. But normally background, normally we just add color. So you can see we finish like we don't add anything because we just want color and we had it. You understand? But because it is a body, we only need color. It's not necessary to have any other um style. It only most of them is background or background image. Understand? But for now, since we are just learning the CSS, the internal, the inline CSS, we just take it as we want the background color. Understand? And then what about if we have a text like this, H1, and we want to add a style to it? Okay, follow. Tell me, let me write
We have to write style.
style. And then what?
Equal to.
Equal to. And then what?
Mm.
I want you to be
And
familiar with the names. You understand? The symbols, how it is said. It is less than, equal to, or greater than. You understand? And that's why I want you to be seeing it. Okay, after the equal to, what am I going to write?
adding.
What am I going to write next after the equal to? I wrote style equal to. What next?
Column.
You see, you have to remember the name of those symbols. It's not column now. Look at this symbol. This symbol is not column. It's what?
Quotation. I keep forgetting the names.
Okay, you can say apostrophe, right?
Apostrophe.
Is it
Apostrophe.
apostrophe? Are you sure? Let
Yeah,
me see.
apostrophe.
No,
Yeah.
are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Apostrophe, right?
Yeah.
It's apostrophe,
Apostrophe.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you can see what it. I think it's like there's some word like quotation, right? Question mark. You see, right? So some uses quotation or some uses what apostrophe. I don't know. It's I understand. Quotation marks. Punctuation mark used in a
Quotation.
pair in various writing. You understand? So you can see quotation marks. I understand. But mostly in HTML, I don't think we don't use quotation marks.
We don't use quotation.
I understand. This
We
quotation
use
mark is different
apostrophe.
from the apostrophe. So sometimes just they are different. I understand. Although they are in English word, but so far as you understand what is going on, it's fine. So we should we use the double now, or we can continue with
The
the.
double one.
Okay, let's use double, and then the property.
And the property,
What do
we
I choose?
use
Because
padding.
pardon, are you sure for test? This is
Yeah.
testing. We are writing. This is test. This is only test. We are trying to apply something to this thing. This thing. I understand. Although we can apply pattern, it's possible. But
Okay,
what?
font size, maybe. We can
Oh,
write
okay.
font
We
size.
can add font size. Font size. Okay. Font minus size, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I wrote font minus size. What's next?
Uh, Maybe we can do it bold.
No, what next? I'm writing, testing. You didn't tell me what to write.
Uh, yeah. Um, One thing. Equal sign.
No, look at it very well. We are on the property, not on the style.
Um, we write minus.
We already wrote minus, which is font minus size. I hope you can see the top one. You can even copy. It's just clear when you wrote the background color.
Uh, yeah. We have to use this. I forgot the
What
name.
you say? What? You have to write column. Okay. You have
Column.
to write column. After the column, and then what again?
Uh, then we can use maybe if we want to bold it or underline the text.
Okay. Are you sure? Because we are talking about size, font size. And we are talking about if you
Um,
want to underline it. Are you sure? Then we
uh,
can give the number that we want for
yeah, the
the
number.
font because it is size. So you can give 10 pixels, 20 pixels, 100 pixels, or we
Yeah.
want it to be, we can use a word which is bold, bolder. So for instance, if I want to, I want it to show example like this, large, we have something like large, we have larger, medium, small, smaller, X large, extra large, X small, extra large, extra small. You understand? And this kind of, you can even use percentage, you understand? All of them like this. But mostly we just use numbers. Like maybe I want it to be 16 pixels. You understand? You see now it is smaller. So the size, the font size is just smaller.
Mm.
You understand? Or if I want it to be bigger, I can just use maybe 10%. Look at it's very small. You understand? So you are saying that, for instance, it is like this, right? So when you say 10%, you are saying 10% of this, meaning it's smaller. Look at
Mm.
20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100, or 100%. Look at how still is small. So mostly we just prefer writing what? Pixels, maybe 100 pixels. You see how big it is.
Yeah.
See how big it is. 100 pixels. So that's the font size. So, okay, so after I add the font size, what should I add at the end? Make sure you are inside this double quotation, right? Inside double
Now
quotation.
we are done with the size.
And then we can
So
add what?
column.
Are you sure it's column?
Yes, I'm sure.
It's not column, it's semicolon.
Semi.
It's semicolon, right? So I think you even forgot about all this kind of thing, right? Uh, Quotation marks, right? What is this? This is a quotation mark,
Yeah.
right? Whether
Yes.
double or we can see single, like this. They are all quotation marks. They are all usable, right? Colon is what? This, right?
Yeah.
Semicolon is what? This, right?
Yeah.
Less than is what?
Uh,
This, right?
yeah.
Less than is that, right? Greater
Greater than.
is what? This, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
The opposite.
Uh, Greater than is that, right? That's greater than, right? So what next? Which symbol do you want to see? Exclamation mark, right?
Exclamation mark.
Right? Exclamation, right? Exclamation, which is what? This, right?
Yeah.
You have exclamation mark.
Apostrophe is the same as the quotation mark.
Yeah, that's what we
Doing that.
know. This is a apostrophe for. This quotation mark is okay. You understand? When you see brackets, normally if you see bracket, it's general, but
Open bracket.
you can see angle brackets. How does the angle bracket is this and then this, right? This and this angle
Angle.
brackets. Understand? That is what normally you see here inside an empty element, right?
Mm.
Angle bracket, square bracket, right? You see square bracket, right? So if you
Yeah.
want to write normal bracket, well, normally we say parentheses in mathematics, right?
Yeah.
We say parentheses like this, right?
Yeah.
Or you can
Hello. Hello.
see bracket. Sometimes we know how to say bracket, unless you want to understand. What about this? Backticks. This is backticks.
Oh,
You see it?
yeah.
That is backtick. It's similar. It looks similar to the quotation marks, but they are different. Their writing is very, very different. Look at this, how it is. It's like a very straightforward. But the backticks is like what? Like arranging in this order.
Mm.
I understand. So just make sure you understand all of this.
Yeah.
Okay. Because even this, some people just call it open brackets. Even this one, what's the name? Some say open brackets. This one,
Mm.
I understand. But this one, I don't even actually know exactly its name, right? It's like, um, let me see if I can see the name. Curly brackets, right?
Curly bracket. Mm.
So that's the name, curly bracket. instead of open bracket, so curly bracket because it is curly. So if you know, just make sure because in HTML or web design, they are all used. These are mostly used in HTML CSS. In most of the code, they are used. So make sure you understand them. I'm sure you take the screenshot of it and then make sure you know it their names. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So now let's continue with our inline CSS. So now I hope you understand how we add inline CSS.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you understand, um, let's move to internal CSS. So let's move to internal CSS. So I want to finish this, then I'll give you the differences. You understand? But if I start seeing the differences, you might not understand. So when I finish all, then I'll tell you the differences and how it is or where it is important to use this and that. You
Okay.
understand? Okay, so now we finish with the inline CSS, which you apply the style within the line of what the elements. Understand? And it affects only what these elements. So if you apply the style on the body, it affects the body. If you apply style on the H1, it applies the H1. Right?